This is Social Transitions Part 2, Changes in Status During Adolescence. Okay, so really the changes that happen in terms of social transitions is really two-sided. When we have a change in a social definition, it typically involves two-sided modification in the status. Okay. Adolescents are granted some privileges and rights that are typically reserved for the society's adult members, but this also increases power and freedom. And that is generally accompanied by an increase in expectations for things like responsibility and social participation and self management. So let's use an example and let's talk about legality. Okay, once somebody reaches the age of majority, and we are going to talk about that, they start to have an increase in their obligations. So this is things like they now have the right to vote, they can now serve in a community, they have expectations to be there for their community in times of need. Another great increase once they reach that age of majority is their freedoms increase. So this means they can now drive without a license or without a don't drive without a license. You can drive without another licensed driver. That's what I meant to say. As long as you do own that legal driver's license from your state. They gamble legally. They can consume and purchase alcohol. They can consume and purchase marijuana in certain states. They can view and purchase X-rated films. There's just a lot more freedom that comes with the age of majority. However, something else that happens is that once they do reach that age of majority, they're subjected to new laws and rules. Adults are tried in a criminal justice system. If a person is still considered an adolescent, then they're engaging in behavior that's considered illegal for their age, but not necessarily considered illegal for an adult. We call that a status offense. So this would be things like truancy, breaking a mandated curfew, things like that. Adolescents are also subjected to a separate juvenile justice system, and that system is equipped to only handle adolescent crime and delinquency. Generally, sanctions are less severe in a juvenile justice system or a juvenile court, but that's not always the case because a juvenile can get tried as an adult. This kind of leads us to that last lower left header about boundaries. Okay, the question arises. What in the heck is the age of majority? Is it 16? Because that's when I can get my driver's license. Is it 18? Because that's when I can vote. Is it 21? Because that's when I can consume and purchase alcohol legally. Or, and in terms of criminal offenses, this is just, I hope you're as frustrated as I am, right? Like I can almost not even spit out words here, but the criminal justice system, the age of majority doesn't always matter. Like I said, you can have a juvenile that gets tried as an adult. So what is different from situation to situation, right? Unfortunately, we draw the boundary of age of majority at a different place for different purposes. And what does this do? It creates a lot of inconsistency, and it's really hard to have a consensus about where that line should actually be drawn. So it becomes quite problematic. And that concludes this video.